Coming up next on Hooten's Arkansas football, highlights from the third week of the high school season, including a AA dandy down at Risen, where the Wildcats were trying to keep their 16-game regular season winning streak intact against the talented Bearden Bears. There was a shootout in Searcy last night between the Lions and explosive Russellville Cyclones. J.A. Fair is marching to the beat of a new drummer, first-year coach Donald Harris, and he has the War Eagles playing some sweet music. Plus, we'll take you down to Glen Rose, where a sharp beaver is this week's Scholar Athlete of the Week. Highlights from all across the state, pregame pep talks, postgame reaction, and updated top 20 rankings for every classification. All coming up in the next half hour, and all on Hooten's Arkansas football.
Let's take it to him.
You stuck it to him and you won it.
This is our time of the year.
Check this out.
Hello and welcome to Hooten's Arkansas football. I'm Chad Hooten, and the third week of the high school season is in the books. We have highlights from all across our state. Great games last night as all the teams wrapped up their non-conference games. Some have already started conference play, but next week every team in the state will begin conference action. And tonight we're going to begin our highlights with Class 5A, the big boys in the state's largest classification, brought to you by Sonic. We'll start in Searcy, where the undefeated Lions tried to expose Russellville's suspect run defense. And Searcy quarterback Chris Bryant carried Searcy to the 1-yard line with this keeper. The Lions punched it in on the next play, and Searcy was up 7-3. But Russellville came right back. Cyclone quarterback Nathan Brown hits Ferris Brown in the end zone for the touchdown. That put Russellville up 9-7. Brown has passed for more than 700 yards in 3 games. He hits Kevin Elliott with the big play here for Russellville. Meanwhile, Russellville's defense tried to contain Weston Dacus, but he still had 184 yards rushing. Final score, Russellville 41, Searcy 20. Little Rock Central's defense had only given up 1 touchdown the first 2 weeks of the season, and last night the Hootens had the Tigers favored to win at Cabot. It was scoreless in the second quarter when Cabot is intercepted by Tristan Wilkerson at the 20-yard line. A couple of plays later, junior wide receiver Stuart Franks takes the reverse handoff. He gets a few blocks, and he's gone 22 yards. Central is up 6-zip. Then on the first play of Cabot's next possession, the ball's knocked loose, and LaMarcus Jordan falls on it at the 42. That would set up Dedrick Poole's little brother, Thomas Page, taking the pitch, going 40 yards for another score, and that was more than enough for Central's dominating defense. And Cabot has been shut out twice in 3 games. Final score, Little Rock Central 14, Cabot 0.
So our defense is our soul of the team. So what we're going to do is we're going to build off this victory right here, and then we're going to go take it to Conway.
Speaking of Conway, the undefeated Wampus Cats playing at Van Buren last night, and on the third play of the game, here he goes. Fullback Peyton Hillis, 55 yards. That's his first touchdown. There will be more. Conway's up 6-0, but Van Buren doesn't back down. Quarterback Adam Funmaker having some fun with Conway. Dive in the end zone, and Van Buren's up 7-6. But it didn't last long. Hillis takes over. The guy is unbelievable. He had close to 400 yards rushing last week at Russellville, 305 yards and 6 touchdowns last night, including this 66-yarder, and the Wampus Cats were up for good. Conway remains unbeaten, headed for a showdown with Little Rock Central next Friday. Final score, Conway 55, Van Buren 34. Number 20 ranked Lake Hamilton was in the Rock last night for a matchup with Parkview at Scott Field. The Wolves defense knocked Parkview's starting quarterback and standout receiver Jamal Anderson out of the game early. On offense, Lake Hamilton gave it to Aaron Puckett 15 times, and Puckett rushed for 68 yards, including this third quarter touchdown that put Lake Hamilton up 19-0. One of the more impressive performances of the night was turned in by Lake Hamilton's kicker, Jesus Anaya. He hit a 23-yard field goal early and a 47-yarder that just cleared the crossbar in the third quarter. Your final, Lake Hamilton 21, Parkview 0. Sylvan Hills knocked off Little Rock Catholic last week, and the Bears were looking for their second straight victory over a 5A team last night up at Jacksonville. But the Red Devils jumped out first. Senior quarterback Breektrick Miles dives in from 1 yard out. That put Jacksonville up 6-0. Sylvan Hills' junior Cameron Kareem, he's the man. 21 yards straight through Jacksonville's defense. Then Kareem calls his own number, and it's a 5-yard touchdown for Sylvan Hills. Final score, Sylvan Hills 10, Jacksonville 6. And all you Razorback fans, take a look at these two. Fayetteville High School quarterback Woody Wilson and receiver Cedric Logan. They've both been offered scholarships by the U of A, and they showed why last night against Greenwood. Logan starts the scoring with this 5-yard double reverse touchdown. Later, Wilson rolls for a pass, decides to keep it himself, and finishes the play with a tough dive for a touchdown. Now, you got to love this sandlot play. Logan is an eligible receiver, snaps the ball, streaks downfield. Greenwood stands stunned, and Logan hauls in a 50-yard TD pass. Final score, Fayetteville 47, Greenwood 17. Number 2 ranked Fort Smith Southside lost a heartbreaker last week in overtime at Broken Arrow, Oklahoma. Last night, the Rebels back home taking on Texarkana. The Razorbacks committed 3 turnovers, including this fumble on the opening kickoff. Southside's Ryan Hicks recovers, and that sets up the 12-yard touchdown run by Scott Eady. Southside's defense is salty. The Rebels limited Texarkana to 82 yards passing and intercepted 2 balls. The Rebels rolled, setting up next week's war with top-ranked Springdale. Don't worry, Hooten's cameras will be there. Final score, Southside 34, Texarkana 7. They believe in dancing and defense down in Pine Bluff. The Zebras, especially stingy this year with consecutive wins. Last night against North Little Rock, it was the offense. Quarterback Nicholas McCree scrambles and finds Ryan Watley. A few plays later, it's Pine Bluff's workhorse, Martell Mallett. He had 1,000 yards last year, 3 touchdowns last night. North Little Rock would charge back, though. Fullback William Lamar punishes the Z defense on first down. Then on 4th and goal, North Little Rock's quarterback Josh Dixon scores the first points of the season on Pine Bluff's defense. That made it 7-6, but the Zebras would put it out of reach with 28 points in the second quarter. Final score, Pine Bluff 49, North Little Rock 14. And here's a look at Hooten's Arkansas football Class 5A rankings. Springdale stays on top despite losing at Jinx, Oklahoma last night. Next week, the Bulldogs have another tough test. Number 2, Southside comes to town. That is just one of 3 matchups between top 10 teams next Friday. Conway will be at number 7, Little Rock Central, and Fayetteville travels to number 6, Russellville. Bentonville is winless and will play undefeated Rogers next Friday night. Cabot drops to 14, and Lake Hamilton is up to 15. Then it's Jacksonville, Jonesboro, winless North Little Rock still in the top 20, Texarkana at number 19, and Searcy rounds out the top 20.
Now, the United States Marines present the Scholar Athlete of the Week.
Playing wideout and linebacker, Beaver football standout Royce Floyd could be the most intelligent player on the squad.
He probably knows what to do at every wide receiver position we've got. And that's what makes him so valuable to us, you know, is he knows what's going on. He's in the right spot at the right time.
Academically, Royce is as sharp as they come. He's got a 4.0 GPA. The first time around on the ACT, he got a 32. He followed that up with a 35.
My sister made a 34, and I wanted to beat her, and so that was the main motivation for that. But I really wanted to see what I could do, and I'll enjoy to try and beat myself at anything I do.
Congratulations to Royce Floyd, the worthy Marine Scholar Athlete of the Week
by the United States Marine Corps.
Thanks a lot, Joe, and congratulations to Royce Floyd, a Glen Rose Beaver, and our Marine Scholar Athlete of the Week. Coming up next, more of Hooten's Arkansas football. Class 4A highlights are next.
Now, more of Hooten's Arkansas football, brought to you by State Farm.
And we begin our Class 4A highlights with the top-ranked team in the state, the Alma Airedales, playing out of state at Poto, Oklahoma. Alma was up 7-6, but Poto moves the ball and scores to go up 14-7. Alma had its chances to score late and win it, but couldn't find the end zone in the final seconds. Final score, Poto, Oklahoma 14, Alma 9. Much improved Little Rock Fair was at Scott Field on Thursday night for a matchup against hapless Class 5A Little Rock Hall. Junior Tony Hampton put Fair up by 2 touchdowns with his 2-yard run in the first quarter, but Hall would respond with a 14-play scoring drive. Sean Cornegay breaks loose for a 19-yard touchdown. He would finish the night with 110 yards. But Fair's sophomore quarterback Brandon Moore catches on fire. The long pass sets up this touchdown toss to senior A.J. Hughes. It's a 16-yarder. That ended the half, and Fair goes on to win it. Final score, War Eagles 26, Hall 7. Crosstown rivals Whitehall and Pine Bluff Dollarway had produced fantastic finishes the past 3 years. Last night, Whitehall was clinging to a 3-point lead, and it looked like the packed stands would be treated to another thriller at Dollarway. But watch this big play right here. Dollarway facing 4th and 2. Whitehall's defense holds, and that would put momentum on Whitehall's side in a wild game last night. Now watch Whitehall's offense take it to the Cardinals. Corey Smith got the Bulldogs out of the hole with a long run. Then L.J. Mumphrey is gone. 46 yards for the clinching touchdown. Whitehall remains undefeated. Dollarway has not won a non-conference game in 2 years. Final score, Whitehall Bulldogs 45, Dollarway 34.
We're going through a good cycle with good seniors, and we got a lot of community support. And it's like in football, you get on a roll sometimes. Sometimes it's a bad roll, and sometimes it's a good roll. Right now, we're on a good roll.
I give that to Coach Vaughn. He has been pushing us hard throughout the weeks, just running us, getting us in shape, and I think it pays off all in the fourth quarter.
And here's looking at Hooten's Arkansas football updated Class 4A rankings. Alma stays number 1 despite their last-second loss to Poto last night. Stuttgart's number 2, then it's Sylvan Hills, the Golden Goblins, and Greenwood. Batesville is undefeated and averaging 33 points per game. Look out for the Pioneers. Wynn is number 7, then it's Crossit. Bologna at number 9, and Robinson rounds out the top 10. Whitehall is also undefeated for the first time in more than a decade. The Bulldogs are 3-0, and they'll play host to dangerous West Helena next week. Then it's the Hope Bobcats, Hot Springs, Morrilton, and Arkadelphia. The Badgers are also undefeated and back into the top 15. Paragould checks in at 16. Then it's the Comets, Marion, Fair, and Malvern, which has lost 3 games by a total of 9 points. Coming up next, more of Hooten's Arkansas football. Class 3A highlights are next.
Now, more of Hooten's Arkansas football, brought to you by Big Red Fina.
And we begin our Class 3A highlights up in Springdale, and now you know what a sand lizard looks like. Dardanelle in town to play Shiloh Christian. The Saints looking more like the Shiloh of old. Scott Godwin recovers the fumble at the 4-yard line. 2 plays later, Shiloh's in the end zone. That's Sean Fisher, and it's 7-0. On the next possession, senior quarterback Nathan Emmert finds receiver Brady Arthur, 20-yard TD. Arthur finished the night with 7 catches, 129 yards. Midway through the second period now, Emmert throws another touchdown pass. This one to senior Austin McClennan. The Saints were up 21-0. Final score, Shiloh Christian 33, Dardanelle 0. The Greenland Pirates were looking to pick up their second straight non-conference win of the season last night against Lincoln. This one was all Greenland. Senior quarterback Andy Weslowski hooks up for a 50-yard touchdown pass to his twin brother. Brian's got it, and the Pirates are up 7-0. A little bit later, it's Andy Weslowski going back up top, this time to Ryan Hips. Final score, Greenland 20, Lincoln 2. At Prairie Grove last night, the Tigers taking on the Dover Pirates. It's all Prairie Grove early. Senior fullback Cody Slaughter blasts up the middle for a short touchdown. Prairie Grove gets the ball back and goes to the air. But Dover's cornerback, Connor Freeman, uses the tip drill and pulls down an interception for the Pirates. Now on Prairie Grove's next possession, who else? It's Slaughter from 8 yards out. The Tigers were up 14-0, but Dover would rally, scoring 6 unanswered touchdowns in the second half, and the Pirates win it. Final score, Dover 44, Prairie Grove 21. From Prairie Grove to Star City, Hooten's Arkansas football covers the state like a blanket. Last night, Star City taking on AA Hampton in a battle of the Bulldogs. Hooten's had the T-shirts. Hampton had a 7-6 lead and would add to it. A 44-yard scoring drive just before halftime. DeAndre Randall goes 14 yards. Then on 4th and 4, Brad Hannigan breaks free for a 13-yard gain. Senior Trey Baker will score the touchdown, driving 9 yards, and Hampton led it 14-6 at the break. But Star City running back Charles Hall got loose in the second half, rushing for most of his 216 yards and 3 touchdowns. And Star City just gets past Hampton for the second year in a row. Final score, Star City 28, Hampton 21. Central Arkansas Christian played poorly last week in a close win over Mansfield, and last night the Mustangs were trying to avoid another letdown against talented Mayflower. On its first drive, CAC quarterback Jesse Gates hits Zach Fortner on short passes to both sides of the field. Fortner almost breaks this one for a touchdown before he's hauled down deep in Mayflower territory. It didn't matter, as Gates would keep it up the middle on the next play for a short touchdown, and the CAC route was on. Next week, number 1 Pulaski Academy will visit Mustang Mountain. Final score, CAC 37, Mayflower 7. Top-ranked Pulaski Academy plowed defending 4A champion Stuttgart last week, and last night the Bruins were going for the second in a row over a defending state champ as they played host to the Warren Lumberjacks. PA was up 20-7 in the second quarter when they pulled out a little trickery. Matt Stoltz takes the pitch, tosses a 50-yard halfback pass to Jay Thorpe, and a couple of plays later, Stoltz would finish the drive with a bruising touchdown run, and PA was up 28-7. The Bruins got the ball back immediately following a John Aaron Reese interception, and on the next play, Adam Thrash drops back and delivers a 56-yard TD strike to Reese, and the Bruins were up 34-7 at halftime. PA's running back Stephen Green finished with 120 yards rushing. He scored a pair of touchdowns and 2 two-point conversions, including one in the fourth quarter to give the Bruins an even 50. Final score, Pulaski Academy 50, Warren 13. And here's a look at Hooten's Arkansas football Class 3A rankings. Pulaski Academy has been Hooten's top-ranked team since the spring, and the Bruins have backed it up the past couple of weeks. Prescott's number 2, then it's the Lumberjacks, Rivercrest, and the Hillbillies. Boonville hasn't allowed a point this season. Star City's number 7, and look at Shiloh Christian. The Saints continue to climb in our poll, averaging 27 points per game. The Greyhounds are number 19, and the Seminoles are 10. CAC is undefeated, while Dollarway is winless and headed for an angry Warren next week. Oak Grove is 13, then it's Nashville. The Scrappers are also 0-3. In fact, the Scrappers have lost 4 in a row and are struggling for answers down in Howard County. Dumas is 15. Dover scored 41 unanswered points last night at Prairie Grove. Ashdown's 19, and Berryville rounds out the top 20.
Now, Coleman Dairy presents the Coleman Kid of the Week.
Much has been made of all the talented players at Pulaski Academy, but it is clear that the Bruins rally around their quarterback, Adam Thrash. The 6'5", 220-pound Thrash picked apart defending 4A state champ Stuttgart last week, running and passing by the Ricebirds with a hand in 2 touchdowns in the 20-0 win. Thrash passed for close to 3,000 yards last year and is off to another great start. The likable Adam Thrash, the preseason Sonic Super Team quarterback for Class 3A, and our Coleman Kid of the Week. And congratulations to Adam Thrash of Pulaski Academy, our Coleman Kid of the Week. Coming up next, more of Hooten's Arkansas football. Highlights from Class 2A are
now. More of Hooten's Arkansas football, brought to you by First Security Bancorp.
Hey, you be ready for that now. Anybody can play the first play. That might be all you play tonight. Mightn't it? Arthur, you might only get one play tonight, son. You better play wide open. You understand? Everybody knows what's going on the first play. Everybody knows their assignment the first play. Defense, you know what they're going to do the first play. Yes, sir. Light him up. You hear me? Light him up. Can we do that? Yes, sir. Is that asking something we can't do? No, Let's go. Pound the rock, baby. Pound the rock. Let's go.
That's Rising coach Clay Toddy, whose number 4 ranked Wildcats played host to number 5 Bearden last night in our Class 2A game of the week. Now, Rising was looking to extend its regular season winning streak to 17, but that did not seem likely early on. Bearden took its first possession, marched right down the field behind the running of junior tailback Ben Owens, including this 15-yarder. Then senior Mark Beelan took the handoff and sprinted the final 15 yards for the score. Not even 2 minutes into the game, and Bearden was up 6-0. But Rising's special teams came up big on Bearden's second possession. Back in punt position, a bad snap leads to a scramble. Rising's Arthur Ballard scoops it and scores, making the score 6-6 with 7 minutes left in the first quarter. Then Owens would score 2 touchdowns for Bearden in the second half to keep it close, but the Bears failed their first major test of the season. Final score, Rising 29, Bearden 22. Number 6 ranked Danville last night in Little Rock against Episcopal, and the Little Johns raced to a 40-0 halftime lead. Danville's Brandon Jones corrals Evan Bettis here as the Little Johns held Episcopal to just 120 yards last night. Danville also dominated on special teams. Ty Brannon returns this punt for a touchdown. That made it 47-0, and things don't get any tougher for Danville next week as the Little Johns travel to winless Marshall. Final score, Danville 47, Little Rock Episcopal 0. Top-ranked Charleston took number 63 ranked Cedarville to the woodshed last night. Sophomore running back Drew Hill set the tone for Charleston, returning 2 punts for touchdowns. Junction City stays at number 2 after walloping winless Eudora last night. Barton did not play, and the Bears needed the open day to get over some injuries. They'll start 6AA play next week against Des Arc. Rising remains at number 4 after getting past number 5 ranked Bearden. The Wildcats led by 3 touchdowns, but had to hold on for a 7-point victory. The second 5 starts with Danville and Hector. In 2 weeks, Jessieville goes to Bauxite with the 5AA title likely on the line. Hampton hung with Class 3A's Prescott and Star City in non-conference action. Just like a year ago, Hampton is probably the best 1-2 team in AA football. Number 11 Gurdon got its first win of the season last night over Spring Hill. Palestine Wheatley just got by Cross County 12-6. Elkins took a step toward claiming the second spot in the 1AA by winning at Pea Ridge. The bottom 5 looks like this: Bauxite, Gillette, Augusta, Pea Ridge, and Lafayette County. After Carlisle's upset of Harding Academy last night, both of those teams have fallen from our top 20 for the first time ever.